Welcome back, everybody. I am Blockchain Crusader, crusading these blockchains every single day, and we are here live today at August 26th as Bitcoin is jumping but pushing back up. It's zigzagging, it's weaving, it's bobbing, but all it's doing is staying below the previous week low, which is not good. Bitcoin needs to get above this. So we're going to be looking at where is Bitcoin headed, where are some of these altcoins headed. All right, wherever Bitcoin goes, altcoins will follow. But are we going to see any major push to the upside? Are we going to recover here? Or are we just going to continue dumping down to the downside here, down to 105 next for Bitcoin? So let's start jumping in here into the chat. Let's give it a few seconds for people to jump in here. Hey, Crusader, will you please take a look at Pengu Bebob? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Bebob. Definitely take a look at Pengu here. XRP versus Chainlink, which would you back? Chainlink. If I had to pick one between XRP or Chainlink, I would tell you right now, my money would be on Chainlink. Why? Because they're connected to everybody. They're connected to absolutely everybody. They're doing so much more, and they're so much more important to the space than what XRP is. XRP is just fast and cheap. Cool story, bro. A lot of blockchains are fast and cheap. The base network is fast and cheap, right? A lot of networks are fast and cheap. That's not really enough. That's not really unique aspect of anything. So yeah, if I had to pick between XRP and Chainlink, I would definitely be picking Chainlink over XRP. Now let's go take a look at Bitcoin here. So Bitcoin here earlier today, this morning, we had a big blast off from the VWAP, the daily VWAP here of 109,682. We blasted off and hit this previous week low of 110,562, and we swept below it. We were rejected on it. I quickly let everybody know in the Crypto Citadel that, hey, this was a reversal signal. Look out for this. We are going to be taking a short here. I took a short at that level of 110.5, rode that bad boy down to the daily VWAP, closed my position around the 109.750. We came down to the gold pocket later, hit this gold pocket, regained the daily VWAP, and now we're trying to get back above this previous week low. It is hypercritical that if we are to see Bitcoin recover, if we are going to see Bitcoin push back up higher to some higher levels between 115 to 120 again, right, then we need to get above this previous week low. We need to start claiming this area this week if we want to see higher price movement this week, right? It's only Tuesday. We still have lots of time. The month of August does close out this week. 31st is on Sunday. So next Monday will be the 1st of September. If we want to see Bitcoin close out in the positive for August, we need to start reclaiming this previous week low of 110.5 and start pushing for our targets between 111,842 to as high as 115, right? We need to start claiming those levels and start pushing up higher. Are we going to do that realistically this week? Doesn't look like it, man. Does not look like it. Now, why do I say that? Yesterday, when we broke below the previous week low of 110.5, we retested this previous week low. We entered a short here as well in the Crypto Citadel, shorted it all the way down to about 109,451. We came back up later that day, back to 110,500, got rejected again. During the Asia trading session overnight, we came down as low as 108,579. Slowly recovered throughout the Asia and London trading session, coming up to about 110,341, losing steam. And now we're still here, once again, getting rejected from this previous week low once again. And we could be creating a little bit of a double top here right now that could be leading us even lower, right? The trend is to the downside. The previous day trend is to the downside. What has Bitcoin been doing since 125 top? Nothing but lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, which is not good. If we zoom out here to the 4 hour, right, the trend is our friend and the trend is to the downside. And that's unfortunate, but that is the truth. We topped out here at 125, made a lower high at 118, dropped down to about 111, pumped on Friday with the Jerome Powell speech to 117, still making a lower high from that 124, right, 125 area. Rolled over on the weekend, had the flash crash down to 110, continuing to make lower lows, right? Pumped back up to about 112, 113, rolled over again yesterday down to 108. Now we're back up at 110, making lower lows and higher and lower highs is the downtrend, right? That is what we're doing. And if we continue dropping, our next big cluster of targets are between 105 to 103. So watch out for that. That is our next big target to the downside for Bitcoin if we keep dropping down here. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all the trade signals and everything that we're doing, make sure you guys are joining the Crypto Citadel. Let's go jump back here into the chat here. These indicators. Come on. Come on. Gosh. I need to make this thing more friendly. Okay. So right now, Pengu, right, has fallen into this previous month range. It has fallen below the quarterly VWAP. So our targets to the downside, if we continue pulling back, right, Pengu has been making lower highs since July. We made the high. We made another lower high in August. We made another lower high in late August on the 23rd. If we continue dropping here to the downside, our targets to the downside are 2.5 cents to about 2 cents flat with a gold pocket. Worst case scenario, we probably come all the way down to this yearly VWAP around 0.018. If that's lost, we have a monthly NPOC down at 0.014. Definitely don't want to be coming down that low. And we have lots of targets all the way down at 0.009. Don't think we're going to fill all those targets, but guys, this is a meme coin. If Bitcoin does start to pull back towards that 100K level and lower, yeah, we could definitely be dropping a lot lower here for Pengu. But those are the targets here. I am looking for 2.5 to about 2 cents to start looking for a potential low leverage long for Pengu to jump into it if we get it. Now, targets to the upside, obviously, we need to break back above the 3 cent area, the 3.5 cent area, start getting back up towards that 4 cent area, January high, and then blast off time again for Pengu. Let me jump back here into the chat, make sure we are seeing everybody's chat here. Do you think alt season is over? Will a possible rate cut bring in some new liquidity? Yes, guys. The interest rate cut for September is definitely a catalyst event on the books for a potential push back up, right? A potential fuel for maybe potentially Q4, right? Q4 is historically very bullish for Bitcoin. If we look here, right, August and September are usually not bullish months for Bitcoin overall, but Q4 of Bitcoin is pretty bullish. So I am still expecting a decent Q4 return. I do expect some type of move to happen based off that interest rate cut happening in September. It might not be immediate. It might not be like, oh, we cut interest rates, boom, Bitcoin blasting off to 150K. It's not going to be like that. But I do believe we will see some liquidity events, whether that happens later in the month, after a week or two, slowly, getting back up, getting some momentum. I do believe it will be an event that will push Bitcoin up, hopefully. In the meantime, altcoin season, right? Altcoin season isn't going to be happening until Bitcoin is doing what it needs to do. What does Bitcoin need to do? Stay above all-time highs, or at least very near all-time highs, and range sideways. Those are the two big steps for Bitcoin. Then, third step is Bitcoin dominance must drop. Bitcoin dominance must drop. If Bitcoin dominance does not drop as Bitcoin is ranging at these highs, then it will not allow altcoins to run. Bitcoin's dominance is below 60%, which is good. It's currently above around 58.2, which is good. The lower it goes, the better. But Bitcoin's price right now is what is holding the altcoins back. Bitcoin has continued to make lower highs, lower lows, creating a major downtrend since the high of 125, which is not bueno, which is not allowing the altcoins to rally. In the meantime, Ethereum is holding up pretty well, still sitting at 4,500, topped out around 4,950 as a new all-time high. So yes, altcoin season can happen if Bitcoin begins to recover and Bitcoin dominance continues to drop. But in the meanwhile, Bitcoin's price keeps dropping. It's not going to allow for altcoins to really start moving. Let's see here. Good to see all of you guys in here. Good to see. Make sure you guys are smashing those likes as you guys are coming in. Let me see who else am I missing in the chat here. I was thinking we hit a few all-time high, and I know Bitcoin dumped, but I thought ETH would keep pushing, but it's retesting. Yeah, it's hard, man. Altcoins will not push without Bitcoin, right? If Bitcoin would have just stayed ranging between 120 to 115 area, right, and just having those ranges of ups and downs around that price point, then yeah, Ethereum could have kept going, even with those small retests on Bitcoin's price. But major drops like we've been seeing on Sunday, dropping down all the liquidity events, right? Somebody sold over $2 billion all on a centralized exchange, dropping below critical levels such as 110 and, heading lower and lower and lower is really hurting the altcoins, especially Ethereum, from continuing to rally. Because realistically, Ethereum has never been more bullish. The institutional demand for Ethereum continues to climb. Every single day, I'm seeing the inflows for Bitcoin versus Ethereum, and Ethereum is outpacing Bitcoin for weeks now. For weeks. So the level of demand for Bitcoin and Ethereum are continuing to increase, especially for Ethereum. Yet we're not seeing the price action happen yet because Bitcoin's holding the price down. Bitcoin is holding the price down right now. Crusader, what do you think ETH will hit by the end of the year? I'm expecting Bitcoin to push towards that 150. I'm expecting Bitcoin to run for that 150. I would really like to see Ethereum at least at 6K, man. 6 to 8K, you guys know I'm planning on taking some heavy profits. I would really like to see ETH at 6K or at least very near. Definitely above 5K, reaching that 6K to 7K area would be fantastic. Because if Bitcoin does get towards that 150, Ethereum's already hit new all-time highs, with Bitcoin only sitting around the 120, right, basically almost at $5,000. So I definitely could see ETH pump another $1,000 if Bitcoin does rally from where it's at now to 150 by the end of the year, and Ethereum still holding up at $4,500. I could definitely see Ethereum running for that 6K plus by the end of the year, which would be fantastic. It's part of my trading strategy. Definitely going to be part of my taking profit strategy as well. Let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. Guys, keep tapping those likes. Appreciate everybody jumping into the chat here. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Diamond, good to see you, brother. Crypto Citadel is absolute gold. I appreciate it, man. We did get a nice short this morning, and we got a short yesterday and a long. We got a long and a short yesterday, and we got a nice short this morning as well, once again. So definitely, if you guys are interested in that, definitely do so and get involved. Share going the price. Well, all right, let's jump into some more charts here. Let's go take a look at Ethereum. See where Ethereum is at right now. Ethereum currently is, let me turn on some of my indicators. All right, Ethereum has reclaimed the weekly VWAP, which is very bullish. Our targets to the upside are this 45.92 to 46.34 in the very short term. We are getting back into the previous day range, which is very bullish for Ethereum. Now, if we can push through this gold pocket of 46.34, we will be looking for a run towards the weekly open, which is around 47.79. It's going to be a little rough. We have the previous day value every high. We have the weekly open and the previous day high, all very close in this area, which could act as resistance, which will most likely act as resistance. So we got to be very careful here of a sweep of this area and potentially dropping back down. But so far right now, you could definitely expect a move from this VWAP of 45.22 to at least 45.92, hopefully 46.34, which is a nice little ETH long right there. Is September bullish? No. September is historically a bearish month. It gives it's like negative 3% return, negative 3% return or something like that. Yeah, negative 3.77% is the average negative return for Bitcoin on September. Last September was bullish. It was green. Maybe we'll get another green September here again, but historically since 2013, we have only 4 green Septembers. Every other September has been red. So historically, September is a red month. It's not a very good bullish month, but October is a very good month. October gives averages of around 20%, 20 to 21% average of returns to the upside. So October could be a very, very bullish month. November is another very bullish month. November has an average of 46% returns. Massive, massive returns for November historically. So, I am looking for that Q4, October, November rally. How about Bitcoin going on? What about Bitcoin? I do believe Bitcoin's going to keep pumping to the upside later this year, whether it's in September with the interest rate cut or starting in Q4. I do think Bitcoin's going to run for that 150 price point at some point here later this year. Make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. Good to see everybody in here. Make sure you're smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Is the bottom in on all these coins yet? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you think where the bottom is in, I don't know what you're seeing that tells you the bottom is in. Bitcoin continues to make lower lows as well as lower highs. So there is absolutely no reason to think that Bitcoin has bottomed out and that the altcoins have bottomed out. So yeah, right now the trend is to the downside, and the trend will continue heading to the downside until it can break market structure and start moving back up and making a new higher high, some higher lows, right? And see where we're going. Are the rate cuts going to happen? There's a very good chance. There's like an 80% chance that we do get an interest rate cut in September. Jerome Powell on the speech on Friday from Jackson Hole did imply that there's a very good chance that they will be cutting interest rates because they are expecting the labor market to be hit. They were first before talking about inflation risk, yada yada, but I think they kind of pivoted from that and said, hey, the risk for the labor market is more than the inflation risk right now. So I think that they will potentially be having a good chance of interest rate cuts in September. That's the game plan for now. So we shall see. We shall see. Let's see here. Let's go through the chat. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right, let's jump into some more altcoins here. Let's go take a look at Solana. So Solana right now, zooming out here to the daily. Solana has come down to about $185, having a little bit of a bounce here. Still within its uptrend, guys. Solana is still very bullish. Even if Solana drops down to 154, Solana will still be bullish, right? Obviously, we don't want to stay below there, but coming down to this yearly VWAP around 167 to 154, we can still be holding our uptrend. So as you guys can see here, Solana has been in a nice uptrend since the beginning of Q2, right? Beginning of April, we have been in an uptrend, easily following and hitting the upside, coming down, hitting the upside, coming down. We hit the upside around August 14th at $209. People were asking me, is this a good time to long Solana? I said, absolutely not. We've pulled all the way back down to 175. We've ran it all the way back up to 212 again. And now we're back down on the heartline of this uptrend, right? We still could pull back further, really dependent on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin really starts to pull back, then we will see Solana pull back as well. But meanwhile, we stay above 164 to 154 area. We are still good for Solana to continue climbing slowly but steady to the upside here. Bitcoin trying to make a run for this previous week low here of 110.5. If we start to reclaim this area and start closing some 15-minute candles above it, is definitely giving us potential that we could be closing a daily above that previous week low this week, which is critical. Like I said earlier, if we can start closing some dailies above the previous week low this week, we could potentially have a run to 113, maybe 115, which could potentially, really help out with the way the month of August closes out. So we'll be seeing here what happens. Appreciate everybody jumping in. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Let's see over here. That is awesome. Yep. Yeah, 100%, guys. If you guys are not in the Crypto Citadel and want to join, definitely do so. It's the last week to get 50% off when signing up. Let me jump here into the chat. Can you look at Chainlink? Yeah, let's go take a look at Chainlink. What's your advice on XRP, guys? I don't give advice. That's first of all. I'm just reading the charts. I'm just reading technical levels here. I'm not giving you guys any advice on anything. So let's take a quick look at XRP. Then we'll take a quick look at Chainlink. XRP, very simple, very easy. We're still making lower highs, but our lows have so far not become lower lows. We have the low of 274. Then we have a low last week around 277, and then currently this week our lows around 283. If we do drop lower, if Bitcoin drops lower and dragging the altcoins down, I will be looking for 252 to about 233. This is going to be the big area of interest. We have the yearly VWAP. We have a local gold pocket at 252. We have another gold pocket at 233, and the long-term resistance of 242. So this 252 to 233 would be a very interesting area for XRP to have a nice bounce from. And then obviously the targets to the upside are the 366. We need to break that to start running for 416 for XRP. Now, looking on over to Chainlink, good old Chainlink here. Chainlink has began to fall out of its uptrend, right, that it was in from the last month. Very strong uptrend going up as high as $27 and some change. We've come down to the monthly VWAP here of around $23. We're currently bouncing back above. If we can reclaim this uptrend and get back into this uptrend, we will continue to slowly climb towards that $30 mark and higher. Now, if the monthly VWAP is lost around $23, next target is going to be the quarterly VWAP around $20 to $19 for some support. Below that, we're looking at $18 to $16 for Chainlink. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here making that push for that previous week low. What about Chronos? It's moving. Oh yes, Crow is moving hard right now, up 26.4% today. Big announcements came out talking about the partnership between DJT Media and them to get building some type of treasury of some kind. Let me jump over here. Let me see, what was the article itself? What's going on here? Come on. Where is it? Right here. The media group is planning to raise $6.42 billion for a Crow digital asset treasury, a major move to expand its crypto strategy. You guys already know the TJT Media is really working on making some major treasury with Crypto.com. They've also talked about making the partnership with Crypto.com to handle their ETFs and be the custodial handler of the ETFs that they're planning on launching, which is very different from the ETFs that currently exist that are all pretty much handled by Coinbase. So all of this news coming out is very bullish for Crypto.com right now, Chronos, which is allowing it to really have a major move to the upside right now. So let's see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. I was thinking we hit a few oh no, I already saw that. Okay, here we go. So let's go take a look at some critical levels for Chronos. Chronos, where are you? Here you go. So Chronos here on the daily. We've pretty much hit all of our targets to the upside with this bounce today. We were sitting somewhere around 15 cents, give or take. We were down yet last week at around 13.5 cents, finding support at that area, which is good. We've talked about this multiple times. And now with this news, we have pumped up to 20 cents, as high as 21 cents. Our next big targets to the upside are 23 cents, which is a historical from 2021, two averages, a quarterly and a monthly average around 23 to 23.5 cents. Above that, we have a target of around 32 cents, and then we have some another average around 39 cents and some bigger targets to the upside. So we'll see as this continues to grow, this news continues to spread and grow, and this partnership continues to grow. We'll see Chronos continuing to push up higher towards those targets. Bitcoin still fighting the resistance at the previous week low. Appreciate all the lightning bolts. Appreciate all the gifts. Thank you so much for smashing those likes and sharing those gifts, man. Definitely appreciate it. Send me any more altcoins that you want in the chat if you're looking for some more altcoins here. Let's go take a look at, whoa, what the heck is this? Let's go take a look at, let's see here. What else should we take a look at? What other altcoin, guys? Give me an altcoin. Give me an altcoin here. Let's go take a look at ONDO. Let's go take a look at ONDO. ONDO here, not looking too good. Looking a lot like XRP and some others. Altcoins making lower highs. We still haven't made a lower low than the low from August 2nd, which is good. But if we do begin to lose the August low, look down for 81 cents. Below that, we could be falling as low as 59 cents if Bitcoin has a major retracement overall. We are below the yearly average. We're below the quarterly and the monthly. So ONDO definitely has a lot of resistance to the upside. Getting above $1 and holding above $1 has been very difficult for ONDO. But if it can hold above $1, if it can rally here in this next altcoin season, right, later this year when Bitcoin potentially pumps to 150K, then we're looking at a target between 122 to 161. Definitely be taking some heavy profits between 151 to 161 for ONDO. Bitcoin getting rejected off the London high once again, still facing resistance here at this previous week low. Have not been able to claim that area at all. Let's go check on Ethereum. Is Ethereum still pumping? Is it heading towards our targets, or is it pulling back here with Bitcoin? So Ethereum right now is almost hitting our targets of 45.92, facing a little bit of resistance and pulling back right now. Big dip next week, going into the 7th, maybe after as well. There is a pattern to beginning of the month usually pulls back. We had a pullback at the beginning of July, beginning of September, of June. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a steeper decline into the first week or so of September. That would not be surprising at all for me. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that. That is definitely a big possibility for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and all the altcoin market, right? Wherever Bitcoin goes, the altcoins will follow and they will drop down lower if Bitcoin does begin to drop, right? And we already know we're below this previous week low. We've lost some critical supports. We've already hit some targets as low as 108. We don't really have much holding us up here, but a lot of hopes and dreams at this point in time, because our next big targets to the downside are 105 to 103. We have a yearly VWAP down at 101, which I really don't want Bitcoin to retest, bro. I don't want Bitcoin revisiting those levels. That's going to suck a lot, especially if it doesn't hold it. If it doesn't hold it, guys, we're dropping down low. We're going for like 89, potentially $76,000 Bitcoin. Why do I say that? Well, if we zoom out here to the daily, the last time that Bitcoin was below the yearly VWAP was during the Q1 of this year, right? At the ending of January, we started to drop. February, we fell below the yearly, and we went from 100,000 in February, all the way down to as low as 74,000 by the beginning of April. And it took us all the way to the end of April, on April 22nd, after a major rally, right, throughout the month of April in Q2 to get us back above the yearly VWAP of this 92K area. Now the yearly VWAP has been slowly climbing. We have gotten close to revisiting it, like back on June 22nd when we dropped down to 98, but we held, and here we are. Here we are again. I do not want us dropping below that yearly VWAP because that could signify a way larger, steeper drop, hitting targets between $97,000 to about $84,000 to the downside for Bitcoin, which is going to be very painful to watch, especially for people that are holding large amounts of altcoins. Extremely painful because the altcoins will get decimated at that point in time. So definitely do not want to see that. That is going to be no bueno, no fun. I'm missing the feed. Will it be on there later to watch back? I don't believe so. On Instagram, I don't believe that this live stream is going to be here for you to watch later. Make sure you're watching over on YouTube or you're watching over on TikTok. And if not, definitely stay in the Crypto Citadel. Definitely stay up to date. This is the last week to get 50% off, and make sure you guys are locking in that discount right now with the code Citadel. Bitcoin has gotten rejected here. We still have a minute and 54 seconds, but it looks like if we close here, right, Bitcoin is heading lower. We're making a lower high once again, getting rejected off the highs, and we could be heading lower towards that previous day low once again. But we still got a minute 40 to confirm this. Maybe it doesn't happen. Do I think Link will go to all-time highs? I think it's possible for Link to pump towards that $50 mark. I think it's going to be very hard. Link last time topped out around 30 something, $34 in the last big rally. I believe it was in November, December time. They didn't get near that all-time high just yet. And even though, so could it get it there? Yes. A lot of people are like $100, $1,000 Link. Realistically, don't see that happening anytime soon at all. So I will be taking profit on Chainlink between that previous high around $30-something to $50, and just letting it ride. It's one of those that just really struggles to pump for whatever reason. Analysts have showed what the market does on new moons and lunar eclipse. I don't really follow those. I know sometimes they've been pretty accurate with like the red moon or whatever it is, but guys, it's a bunch of fugazi. What matters are the results here, and what we're doing is in the Crypto Citadel, we have receipts of all of our trades that we've been taking, and we've been doing astronomically this week. Again, last week was a little rough. We made 204 macaroons on the short this morning. We made another 204 macaroons yesterday on the short from the previous week low as well. Here are the entries. Here are the TPs. All the TPs hitting. Yesterday as well, we longed the Bitcoin from the sweep of the previous day low or the previous week low, walked away with 397 macaroons on that on the second TP. It later ran up to our third TP. Here's the signal. Here are the TPs. Like, we have been doing astronomically well. We're up over 3K this month so far. For the month of August, it's been a slower month than the month of July. The month of July was very easy to trade. We made over 6,800 in the Crypto Citadel in the month of July. August has been a little bit rougher, but nonetheless, still very profitable, and that's all that really matters. So yeah, I'm definitely not going based off any lunar stuff. Look, Bitcoin closed. Bitcoin got rejected off the London high, swept that area once again, and now Bitcoin is heading lower, and I'm assuming Ethereum is doing the same. Ethereum coming back here. Hopefully Ethereum can hold and retest this weekly VWAP, hold this area as support, and push up higher later today. But Bitcoin right now is pulling back once again. We have created a little bit of a double top, lower high once again here, and down low we continue to go. Down low we continue to go. Appreciate everybody smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe. Make sure you're dropping your altcoin into the chat. If you're not subscribed, definitely do so. Let's see here. Do I think? Nope. Link, Chronos, already covered all those. Algorand, let's go take a look at Algorand. Bitcoin continued to pull back here. That was a nice short entry right there. That's the same kind of short we took. We took this short this morning and rode it all the way down to the daily VWAP. This short right here could probably take us down to the previous day low if this daily open doesn't hold. Let's go take a look at Algorand. Algorand. Okay, here we are. So let everything load in. All right, very simple stuff. Algorand pretty much sitting at the value area low of the previous month, right, of the July value area low. We're sitting at around 25 cents. We have a monthly average here. We are below the monthly, quarterly, and yearly VWAPs, which have been holding Algorand's price down. If we drop below this area, be looking for 21 cents as our next big target to the downside. Below that, we don't really have much else to hold us up. Below the 21 cents, we could be coming back down towards the 18-cent area. and potentially 13 to 12 cents for Algorand. Now, if Algorand can actually get above the monthly point of control for July of 28 cents, we do have targets between 31 to about 37, and then we obviously have 39 to 45 with a gold pocket all the way up at 45 cents for Algorand. But right now we are falling below the quarter two uptrend, and we are below pretty much every single VWAP, which is not bueno, which is pretty much holding us down as resistance. So it's very critical for Algorand to break above 28 cents if you want to continue seeing a move to the upside. If not, we could be dropping down to between 21 to 13 cents. Good to see all of you guys in here. SUI, let's go take a look at SUI. Somebody's asking about SUI. SUI's been doing pretty well, man. SUI's been holding up like a champ. So jump out here to the daily. SUI's still within its uptrend, right? It's quarter two uptrend. We have been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. We are holding above this yearly VWAP here around $3.35. If this area is lost, look for 318 to about 304 as our next targets to the downside. Now, if we can get back into the previous month range above 360, we need to get our targets will be 399 to eventually breaking above $4 and holding above 429, so we can run for that monthly untapped NPOC of 481 to the upside. So like I said, we can still drop down to 292 and still be in the uptrend for SUI. We definitely don't want to be, testing it too much, but hopefully we can hold this yearly VWAP here of 335 for SUI. Bitcoin having a nice little bounce off this daily open. Could be invalidating this London high sweep once again, which is very, very good. Link, already covered it. Algorand already covered it. Chronos covered it. Chainlink covered it. Quant, let's go take a look at Quant, and we'll take a look at Aerodrome as well. So Quant here. Quant is continuing to hold support here around the $101. Next drop, if we do drop lower, is going to be this $96 area, which is a quarterly untapped average, and the yearly VWAP is around that area as well. If we lose that area, Quant could be dropping down to as low as anywhere between $85 to $62 to the downside. That will mean that Bitcoin is pulling back drastically, and Quant is going to be dropping. But meanwhile, we hold above 100 to 96, between $96 to $100. We need to break the critical resistance here of 124. As you guys can see, we've tried breaking out of it, but every time we come back for a retest, we lose it. So we have not been able to confirm 124 as support. Once we can, our targets to the upside are between 141 to as high as 178, potentially 193. Litecoin. People want to know about the Litecoin and VeChain. Definitely going to be looking at Litecoin and VeChain here in a second. Let's go take a look at Aerodrome first. Just give a quick little stretch, quick little water break here. Give me a second, guys. Did I miss Bitcoin? Yes, Kenny. We covered Bitcoin, but we'll circle back to it. Definitely missed that short this morning in the Crypto Citadel. I can tell you that, Kenny. Should have been there, brother. Should have been there. Appreciate everybody in here tapping those likes. Let's see here. Let's go. I'm going to go cover Aerodrome. Then we're going to cover Litecoin. And then we'll cover VeChain. So Aerodrome here, still above its uptrend, guys. Aerodrome has been holding phenomenal. I'm very surprised that Aerodrome is actually outperforming ONDO. I thought ONDO was going to continue the outperformance between Aerodrome and ONDO. But look at this, man. Aerodrome is still above, sitting at the upper band of its uptrend for quarter two, holding very strong here. WAP sitting at 136. Targets for me to be taking profits for Aerodrome are going to be 164 to 168. And then we have a potential run for the all-time high. Obviously, it's going to be very dependent on Bitcoin pumping, Bitcoin dominance dropping, all this good stuff, right? Now, if Aerodrome were to continue dropping and we lose this area around the 124, look for the heart line of this uptrend, which lines up with the quarterly VWAP around the 107 for Aerodrome. Now, if Aerodrome continues to drop below 107, look at areas between 82 cents to about 94-cent area as support for Aerodrome. So those are the supports there for Aerodrome and the targets to the upside. Let's go take a look at Litecoin. Good old Litecoin. Litecoin still holding up very well as well. Look at this uptrend. Very nice uptrend here for quarter two. We are above the yearly VWAP, which is very strong here, being holding at 106. If we lose this area, look for targets between $100 to $98. Definitely those are the next targets to the downside. Now, if Litecoin can continue holding here, Bitcoin continues to allow altcoins to recover. We need to get above 127. If we can hold above 127, and confirm it as support, then our next targets to the upside are between 146 to 164, maybe even as high as 190 for Litecoin. Obviously, there's higher targets as above that as well, but we'll get to those targets as we get closer and closer to that point in time. Let's go take a look at VeChain. Good old VeChain. VeChain is still within its quarter two slight downtrend, still making lower highs, right? We made a high in May. We made a lower high in July, and then we're still making lower highs here in August. VeChain realistically needs to get above this yearly VWAP, man. We need to get above that 3-cent area and really hold above it. We have not been able to get above the yearly VWAP all year since back in January when we were above it. We have been below it this whole entire time. So we need to really get above that 3-cent area, start making a push and holding above this yearly VWAP, so we can start making a push towards the 4.5 cent area. 4.5 cent area to about 5.5 cents area for VeChain. Appreciate everybody in here. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, dropping your altcoins into the chat. I'll circle back to XRP here in just a second. Just want to make sure I'm overlooking the chat here. I'm not missing anybody anywhere. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Let's okay. Let's go. Let's recap on XRP here. Good old XRP, man. XRP still making lower highs, but hasn't been making lower lows, which is good, right? Trying to hold on here to a potential move to the upside. If we do start making a lower low, look out for targets between 252 to about 233. This is going to be the next big region of support that I'm looking for XRP. If Bitcoin pulls back lower and drags the altcoins down, that is what I'm going to be looking for XRP. Now, if Bitcoin doesn't drop lower and has some type of recovery back towards that 115 area or higher, right, targets to the upside, we need to break this market structure of lower lows, of lower highs, and start running for that 366 to then be able to run for 416 and higher for XRP. Oh my gosh, my back is killing me. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes here. Drop your altcoins into the chat, guys. Don't be shy. This is your moment to shine. This is your moment to ask. Everybody's so quiet. Everybody's so shy. When the markets are down, nobody wants to talk. Everybody's just in shock. How long have you been trading? I've been trading for over 2 years now. Been taking it very, very seriously here in the last year. Started about 2 years ago, on and off. And then over the last year, been taking it very, very seriously. And it just made it my full-time thing, right? So now I just trade full-time. That's what I do. That's how I pay my bills. ADA, Arbitrum. Let's go take a look at ADA. Good old Cardano here. Cardano, nice little uptrend, still holding, still making higher lows, right? We have the low back in August 1st of 69 cents. We're currently sitting at 85 cents. We're above the yearly VWAP, which is good. If we lose 80 cents and we lose a yearly VWAP, look for a drop down to around 70 cents. If that area is lost, we could be looking down for around 54 or lower, which I really don't want to see any of that again. So hopefully we continue to hold the yearly VWAP here and push up higher. Now, if ADA can get above this $1 and start holding above $1 mark, we have targets between 120 to 178 to about 215 for Cardano to the upside. Let's go take a look. I'm gonna go take a look at Arbitrum, and then we'll look at AVAX next. Arbitrum. All right. Arbitrum still making higher lows here, still trying to, stay above its slight uptrend from Q2, which is good. We're currently sitting at 53 cents. We do have resistance here around 61 to 64 cents. Once we can break that, our targets to the upside are between 70 to 89 cents for Arbitrum. Now to the downside, if we lose support here around this 53-cent area, look for support between 47 to as low as 44. We definitely don't want to be dropping below 44 and losing the yearly VWAP. Let's go take a look at AVAX. Oops, wrong one. AVAX here, still making higher lows, which is good. Finding a lot of resistance at this $26 mark. We've been rejected at $26 back in May. We got rejected off of it in July multiple times. We got rejected off of it in August again. So very critical for AVAX to break above $26 and finally run and start potentially getting back above 30. Once it does do that, and it can do that, we have targets between 36 to as high as $51. Right, we have targets to the upside as high as $51 for the local targets. We have legacy targets that can pump AVAX between 71 to 141, which is its all-time high. But I'm not looking at those legacy targets until we can actually close dailies above $51. Now, AVAX here to the downside, if we start to lose this $22 mark, average will look down for 1973, potentially as low as 1772 to the downside if we drop down lower along with Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin right now is struggling. It's struggling to get back above 110.5. Appreciate all of you guys smashing those likes. Appreciate all of you guys dropping the here, hanging out here with me and chatting with me. I'm very, very thankful for all of you guys in here. Very tired. Let's see here. Let me get maybe a few more in, and then I'm going to be calling it a day. Let's see here. Let's see. I feel after September it's going to rally up until December. It could be, right? December is usually a pretty, not December, Q4 is very bullish, right? October has an average return of 21+%. November has an average of 46%. November is very, very bullish along with October. So could have a very strong rally in that Q4. December is usually a little bit more bearish. We closed down negative 2%, 2.85% on December. December's returns are average only 4.75% to the upside. They're more red than green on December, but October and November are usually very, very bullish for Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm expecting hopefully that we get an interest rate cut in September, and then that gives us enough fuel to run through October and November and potentially hit 150K and higher. Will ETH reach all-time high by next week? No, it's not going to hit an all-time high by next week unless Bitcoin somehow by next week starts to recover and get back above 115, 120, and starts to hold above that area by next week. Next week is September, right? September 1st is next Monday. The beginning of the month is usually kind of bearish. It's been pretty bearish in the last couple of months. Every time we start off a new month, we dip down lower. So would not be surprised here. We did the same thing in July. The ending of July started coming, and the month started to drop. Price started to drop. And then into August 2nd, August 3rd, right, the first couple of days, that's when it bottomed out, and then it started to recover. So hopefully we get something similar where we're already dropping, coming here into the end of August. We have maybe 1 or 2 days, maybe 3 or 5 days, whatever, the first week of September, a little negative. We start to bottom out, and then we start to push back up higher because, yeah, it definitely sucks to be down here. Just want to be in Pump City, baby. Bitcoin rejecting off that London high, just like I told you guys, dropping down lower here right now. So when's a good time to enter back into ETH? Well, I wouldn't be buying for $4,600 ETH or $4,500 ETH. Let me tell you, I would be waiting for 3K, 3,100. right? We might not get that level, right? You might have missed out on Ethereum. Ethereum was below $2,000 for the grand majority of 2024, of 2023, right? Most people weren't paying attention to Ethereum. Oh, Ethereum's dead. Ethereum's never coming back. Ethereum's a dinosaur coin, yada, 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 blah, 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 a bunch of FUD. Ethereum spent a lot of time down at 1,500, 1,900, below 2K, but definitely below 3K for a very long time, all of 2024, 2023. Nobody wanted to buy. Now when Ethereum is at 4,500, just hit a new all-time high 3 days ago, at 4,900, people want to buy. Not the time to buy, my friends. If you were in the Crypto Citadel, paying attention to my analysis, my exclusive analysis, my daily trade signals, my setups, you would know this and you wouldn't be trying to buy Ethereum right now. So appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. So you see it going down to 4K level into September. It's very possible that we go down to at least 4,000 and retest 4,000 for Ethereum. Doesn't need to happen. If Bitcoin starts to recover here, then we're okay. But if Bitcoin continues to drop lower, below 108, yeah, we're definitely going to be potentially revisiting 4K for Ethereum. ETH always goes low every year after reaching all-time high. Well, just so does everything else. Bitcoin made all-time high. Now we're hitting lows. Right? It's just the way that's just the way the game works, guys. Like I said, appreciate every single one of you guys in here. I hope you guys joined the Crypto Citadel. This is your last week to be able to enter the Crypto Citadel for your first month with 50% off using the code Citadel. If you don't take advantage of it, next Monday on September 1st, that discount will be gone and you will not be able to get it back anymore. So definitely now's the time. You get daily trade signals. You get my 1-hour trading course. Live trading sessions. We were just live earlier this morning between 9 to 10:30. We were trading live. We traded this Bitcoin sweep right here of the previous week low, shorted it all the way down to the daily VWAP, walked away with over 200 smackaroons for the day for 30 to 45 minutes of trading. So live trading sessions, trading course, daily trade signals, daily trade setups, long-term macro analysis, exclusive indicators. What else do you want? What else do you want, guys? So I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope all of you guys are smashing those likes, hitting that subscribe, and joining the Crypto Citadel. Guys, I'm Blockchain Crusader, crusading through the blockchains every single day, and I'll see you in the Crypto Citadel. See ya.